Welcome into all the TYT Sports. That is Jayar Jackson. I am Rick Strom. The Golden State Warriors played off against the Sacramento Kings this past weekend, and there's a controversial play that occurred with one player, 23-year-old Patrick McCaw, being injured, and the other now dealing with the controversy in the form of Vince Carter. Here is the play that occurred, and then we will discuss.
Oh, beautiful pass to McCaw and a foul. What a hit that. Just this Warriors team is snake bit right now, and you can see the reaction from Steve Kerr.
All right, so here's where the controversy lies.
Where does it lie? Next to Patrick McCaw on the floor?
Was Vince Carter trying to clip Pat McCaw as he clearly saw McCaw break to the basket, have a clean dunk rather? You saw his shoulder maybe go in. Now, there's only one person who knows the intention. It's Vince Carter. This has never happened before with Vince Carter in his entire Hall of Fame career. And real quick, before we get into JR's opinion, here is what he said after the game. Take a look.
Just hope he's okay. You know what I'm saying? I play this game because I love it, enjoy it. And, you know, not for that, not to see young guys get hurt. He has a bright future. And, you know, I just hate to see it. I mean, you could tell me whatever, it was an accident, you know, it didn't, whatever. I just don't like to see it. You know, I don't like to see it. You know, I'm sitting there in pain, you know, saying he can't feel his lower half, all of that stuff. Like, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me.
What would you kind of say to Steve when he came over?
Doesn't matter.
The huddle there, you all kind of came together, was a nice kind of gesture there.
I said a prayer for him, you know, because he didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? So just a bunch of good guys, I think, doing the right thing. You know, and, like I said, young talented guy.
All right, so Vince obviously saying that he said a prayer for him. They all huddled around, like every player on both teams huddled around together afterwards. Here is what Pat McCaw looked like as he was stretchered off, his neck stabilized, his head stabilized. As we saw this occur in real time, and now we're seeing it once again on this Monday morning, is there anything to be had, and should people be mad at Vince Carter?
Well, people are going to be mad at him because he injured a player, a young kid, as he pointed out. I think people are going to be trying to read into his tone, at least in the post-game interview, to see what his intentions were. A guy like Vince Carter, I don't think there's any intention with that. He was walking in. I think the first reaction of looking like he was cringing was more of like, I didn't foul him.
Right.
It wasn't a, oh man, I really messed up.
And then when he saw him on the ground, that's when he was just like, oh my God.
So I think you can go after people's actions and I guess the body language on the floor to see. After the post-game interview, you're not going to get much from that. He's just trying to be concise and not really discuss this too much with media guys because he knows what they could be angling.
Well, when they asked him, what'd you say to Steve Kerr? He's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he doesn't want to reveal anything to these guys because he doesn't know what angle these guys are writing their stories on. They're going to be analyzing all night about. So I just think his reaction to the referee thinking, hey, I didn't really do that, I think shows that it was unintentional.
Right.
And so a lot of times when guys,
go ahead.
I think we see this play bang, bang all the time. And in most cases, guys don't end up on their backs like that. Or if they do, they sit on the floor and they do one of these. You know, it happens all the time.
Right. Or maybe Vince Carter thought that Pat McCaw was going to hang on the rim just a little bit longer. And he was trying to get out of the way.
Even. It wasn't even a dunk.
Right.
So
he obviously, I mean, he was blind to what McCaw was doing.
Right.
So, and by the way, we have the luxury of doing this.
Absolutely.
Of breaking it down frame by frame, piece by piece, hours after it happened. And that's something that Vince Carter can't have back. What I thought was interesting, though, was not only Steve Kerr's reaction was totally authentic. It was like, as we're watching it days later, it was like a little humorous at the time that we're watching because you just see you see Steve Kerr just like yelling and screaming. But then him to say Vince knows better. That's what I have to think leads me to believe that although it was unintentional, he knows better not to get that close to a player when they're up in the air. Absolutely. It's sort of like, remember when Kobe Bryant was playing against the Atlanta Hawks and Dante Jones intentionally knows better, but did not give Kobe a clean landing spot. So what he did, this is when Kobe tore his Achilles. When Kobe was shooting back right corner, or bottom right corner on the screen in Atlanta, towards the end of the regular season, Kobe Bryant shoots a jump shot, and out of nowhere, you see Dante Jones with his knee go under Kobe Bryant. That's a situation where he knows better and just acted on impulse. I'm not saying that Vince Carter did this intentionally to injure him, but what I think he was trying to do intentionally was just make it that smidge harder than what it had
Jones
to be.
has that track record of being this in-your-face
totally. I'm not saying
he was a
Vince
great
does.
defender, but he'd get in your face and annoy the hell out of you. So him doing that would at least cause more people to go, did he mean to do that? Because he's annoyed at what Kobe was doing. You know, because we know Kobe was probably talking a lot, probably doing a lot of elbows and nudges and rib, you know.
You're saying calling players soft like Sharman is not a way to get under people's skin?
I mean, that's the thing. Vince Carter, as you said, doesn't have this track record. Dante Jones maybe did, I don't know, but maybe within players in the league, because a lot of people didn't like him. Maybe felt that way about him. So then it leads you to have this more, oh, maybe he does these little things. Didn't mean to hurt him, just meant to kind of annoy the hell out of him.
Right, and you're just, like again, what I think he was trying to do was just make it that smidge more difficult where it's like, oh, he knows that I'm there. Maybe you like touch your shoulder on his ass, or maybe you touch it on the back of his leg, just to give them a little bit more intimidation. There was no intention of trying to hurt Pat McCaw at all. We need to state that a million times.
There's the pickup game tactic. When somebody's shooting a three and you run by him underneath them and you may tap them on their chest.
Right.
That's still a foul.
Right.
And some guys just do that. You know those guys that do that. It's a foul, but you're not gonna call it playing pickup, you know? So it's those types of things. Maybe it's that mentality of, I'm just gonna rib him just a little bit enough.
Right.
What some defenders do. And again, I don't see Vince Carter as one of those guys.
So Vince,
he's just walking under the play, and he's 47 years old.
Right, but you just saw him dip his elbow a little bit into Pat McCaw. That's what I'm looking into, and that's what I think everybody should be looking into, just a little bit. We're not saying that Vince Carter is a dirty player. We think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's represented the game as well as anybody can over a long tenure, and also being somewhat of a unicorn for the age that he has.
Right.
Like the unicorn is thrown out now with like Porzingis and Towns, but like in a way, he's a unicorn for just being able to continue to play the game.
He's an old unicorn.
He is an old unicorn, but he's a great unicorn. And again, nobody's represented the game the way that he has, so we're not necessarily going after him. What we're doing is just calling it as we see it. Pat McCaw was released from the hospital, I believe, earlier this morning. He is going to rejoin the team soon, and I don't believe that he's going to be playing for the next few weeks, maybe a week. But I thought it was encouraging to see that he is going to rejoin the team and he is going to be back very soon. So hopefully Pat McCaw.
Spinal contusion.
Right, so we're just hoping that he's going to be safe and sound.